Gang Show here on this beautiful Friday afternoon. We got Glenn Watt and Farley Andreessen. I'm Ben Gitty. We got Nick behind the producer's booth there. What panda? Got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about custom work, custom jobs, custom work that you've done, some stuff we've done, both involving musical instruments and in other lines of work. Got an awesome lesson for you today from Shane Speal. He's put together a really nice thing. I think you got some volume on there, Mr. GT. A great lesson on how to pick out and figure out some cover songs that he's been doing lately. Some other great stuff. So, but first, how's this song go? It's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Nation TV. Yes, it's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Nation TV. And coming to you live from CP Gitty. It's the Gitty Gang Show. Gitty Gang Show. It's the Gitty Gang Show. Gitty Gang Show. It's the Gitty Gang Show. Gitty Gang Show. It's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Nation TV. All right. Well, we want to thank you for tuning in. You know, last week's show, if you tuned in for that, over 21,000 views and 350 shares and hundreds of comments. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your day to join us, having a little fun up here on this little stage here at CB Gitty World Headquarters in Rochester, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. Well, we appreciate it. And you might also remember we did a giveaway last week. 5 $50 gift certificates. That's $250 total to cbgitty.com being given out. I'm going to announce the names here very shortly. Why don't I do it right now?
Do it right.
I got the names right here.
Hello.
We got, I'm not sure how to pronounce this one. I'm sorry. Guillaume Daniel of Lyon, France. Fred Bombach of New York. Wayne Anderson. Half a Hand McCoy of Dortmund in Germany.
Nice.
And Clay Clark of Arlington, Texas. I've sent you all messages on Facebook. I know Fred has Wayne has responded. Got to get back to me on there, and I'll send you that coupon code once you reply, and you'll be able to go on cbgitty.com
Awesome.
and have $50 in free money.
Right.
Now,
Congratulations, and thank you for sharing.
thank you for sharing. To be entered in this week's giveaway, which we're going to be talking about here very shortly, what do you have to do? You have to share this post, share this video publicly here on Facebook. When you click share, there's a little drop down that appears where you choose who you share it to. Share it publicly, otherwise we can't see that you've shared it. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
It's going to be a good thing. Thanks again for tuning in.
Yeah, buddy.
Got Rob Roble out there. If you see this little glowing thing here in front, that's an iPad so that I can see some of the comments coming by. Louis Lamanna says that our theme song there is an earworm. It gets stuck in your head. And a number of people asked how you play it. I keep meaning to do.
I don't really know. Some of us still don't know.
We're still not sure.
Go in with half an idea and run with it.
Yeah, well, I keep meaning to do a little lesson, and of course, tablature. You know, a lot of people always asking for tablature.
Huh?
Now then, forget it. I'm going to get to it, I promise. But basically, it's just the boogie woogie, boom, 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 and then anyway, we'll get to that. Don't need to get into it now, do we? No. All right. So.
All right, Aaron, thank you for tuning in. Martin, good to see you. Michael Capato, Steven Sellers, thank you very much for joining us. Tom Schaefer, Rick Flink, Henry Lohm, and Rob Roble, of course. Adriel, nice to see you, by the way. Danny Weddle, Louis Lamano, Titus, Harold, Paul Robertson, Mark Maddock. Come on, everybody's in this joint.
Everybody.
Thank you very much for tuning in.
I saw somebody say something about this guitar. This is a 19-inch scale length, 19 inches from nut to bridge, which is a baritone ukulele scale. nylon strings tuned to open G, so it kind of has like a baritone sound to it, but I can use all of the stuff I already know from open G tuning, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about that. We're going to have a little session later and talk about that point some more. So before we get too deep into that, this week's giveaway is actually going to be 3 custom signs. Custom signs. If you've been following the CB Gitty Crafter Supply Facebook page here on Facebook, I've been posting a lot of custom stuff lately, and that's why we're going to be talking about custom work today. 3 of those signs, and I'm going to have one in the third half of today's show. I'm going to have one to show you. So stay tuned for that. But first, yesterday, while working on some of this custom stuff we're going to be talking about, I'd been at it for a long time, and strangely a song kind of popped into my head, as they sometimes do. Glenn knows that I had been kind of working on a little chord riff for a few days, and I put words to it. Now, the way this song came about, songwriting, really ties in with the video from Shane Speal we're going to be sharing with you in just a little bit about how he figures out cover songs. But finding something that sounds good or sounds interesting to you, starting with an E chord, and I did this just, I think it was last week, and then I wonder what this will sound like. It's like, that kind of sounds good. And then where could it go from there? Alright, that's alright. And kind of build it up. So, yeah, let's try this. Now, there's nothing harder than memorizing the words to your own song. And when I just wrote it yesterday, so I don't have these memorized. You're going to see me looking down at a cheat sheet here, and
But nobody will know that you're singing the wrong words.
I'll just switch over to Gaelic if I. That was the trick in the Irish band. If you forget the words, you go into the himina, humina, himina, humina. Yeah, that's the Gaelic.
Colin, good to see you. Paul Allen, good to see you. David Contois, my boy.
David, woo! We could use a bass on this.
Could use a bass, David.
Hop in the car right now. All right, here we go. Working title for this song is "Doing You No Good." Pick up a book and put it down. Keep your feet flat on the ground. All this fussing and fighting, well, it ain't doing you no good. Be kind to the ones you love. Never push and never shove. You know that the good ones, well, they're a lot rarer than you might think. Soft little sound. You know it's just time always passing you by. But always keep on keeping on. Take what comes and move along. You know that worrying, well, it ain't doing you no good. Thank you.
It's really nice.
It's a little bit out of the norm of the sort of songs I write. I don't write that many, but and the sort of songs that I tend to play has a little more of a melancholy jazzy feel, and for some reason I feel like it needs a verse in French. It kind of has that French cafe feel to me. But anyway, there you go. Hope you like that one.
Nice.
So don't be afraid to come up with a little chord progression and put words to it, you know? You never know what might happen. All right, so I want to say again, there's a sale on kits. All of our kits, instrument kits, amp kits, box kits, parts packs, all sorts of stuff, 25% off. That is 1/4 of the total price, virtually.
Wow.
25%. It's a great time to try a kit you haven't tried before. Like if you haven't built a lap steel yet, or if you haven't tried the microphone kit or the Gitty or a diddly bow, simple diddly bow kit, 25% off. Get one for yourself. Get one for a friend. This is a perfect time. You know, it's cooling down a little bit, at least up here in New England. Weather's cooling down. Good time to get into the shop, whether it's in a shed or your basement or your garage or your kitchen table. It's a good time to try something new. Get one for a friend. Bring somebody new into the homemade, handmade music movement. And you'll be glad you did, and they'll be glad you did. Hopefully. All right. What else we got going on here? Yes. Video from Shane Speal. Shane recorded this earlier today. As you know, Shane is a constant contributor to. He is part of the Gitty gang, even though he is physically quite a ways away. He's going to talk about how he has recently figured out a cover song and how you can figure out a cover song. And one of his best pieces of advice that I like, well, you'll hear him say it shortly, is always have one nearby. Here's Shane Speal.
Hey, it's Shane Speal. The name of this lesson is I Bet I Could Play That on Cigar Box Guitar. Share this on your Facebook right now. Share it right now and then sit back. We're going to have a little fun with 3 strings. I can't get to sleep. Think about the implications of diving in too deep. And possibly the complications. Hey, Cigar Box Nation TV, it is Shane Speal. Let's talk about playing your cigar box guitar, getting better at playing, and what I did many years ago that helped me learn everything up and down the neck of this guitar. Not that I know everything, but you know what I mean. Okay, so the other day, I was sitting right over there, and I was restringing my guitars. I've got a big show tonight. It is the album release party. Shane Speal and the Snakes, new album, Stay Primal. Boom, where's the light? Oh, there we go. You can get this. CB Gitty has it. I also have it at shanespeal.com. Tonight's the album release party. So I was restringing all my guitars and getting ready for it. Okay, and something tickled my brain. I was listening to Colin Hay, the lead singer of Men at Work, and he did an acoustic version of their hit Overkill. And as I was listening to it, immediately there was a tickle in my brain, and that tickle said, I bet I could play this on cigar box guitar. Now here's the biggest point of this lesson for you. If that ever hits your brain, immediately act on it. Always have a cigar box guitar laying around. If you want to get better, if you want to play this instrument well, make sure you have it on hand. Now, the tickle hit me, and I was listening, and I heard that lick, that... I'll give you a close-up of what I'm doing. I won't get into the lesson too much, but I just want to show you. 12th fret, there's 2 fingers, 12-12 open, and then it's 11-12 open. 10-10 open. Oh, and by the way, the guitar's tuned open E, so it's EBE. But that's what I was doing. So I was listening to Colin Hay doing this Men at Work song. I thought to myself, I bet you I could play it on cigar box guitar. So I immediately found a guitar that would go with the tuning. How did I know what the tuning was for that song? I Googled it. I went to Google, and just about any song that's ever been recorded has then been at least tabbed out or put the chords there for the song. So I got the chords for it. I saw that the song was in the key of E, and I knew that my brand new 3-string by Casey Barron, check this out, Casey Barron made this for me. I knew that this was tuned in an open E, so I grabbed it. And then I just sat down and I listened to the song, and I just kept moving my fingers around until I could figure out what these chords were. Now, I had the chords in front of me as well, and as I was listening to them, being that I've played this for 24 years, I've learned what goes where on the fretboard. So I was messing with this, and I realized, wait a second, that sounds like what Colin was playing. And then I surprised myself, because whenever I went to the bridge, the day after day it reappears. If I put my fingers on 5, 7, 9, 9, 9 open, I never realized it before until now. I've been playing this thing for 24 years. That 9, 9 and open on a guitar tuned open E is a C minor. And I stumbled on it. All of my learning has been basically me stumbling across things, trying things out and stumbling on them. So it goes from C minor to a B sustained. And I learned all I had to do was keep moving these two fingers from 9, 9 open to 7, 7 open. And then where it says ghosts appear and fade away, well, I experimented and I went to where the G, it says it's supposed to be G sharp sustain 4. Well, that would be G sharp, and if I let go of this open string, it sounds right. I don't know exactly what chord it is, but it works for me. So what you're seeing here is that I'm faking it. Whenever I play cover tunes in concert, I don't play always exactly what the original guy played. I play the close approximation to it. And the reason I do that, it all starts with me simply asking myself, or simply saying, I bet I could play that on cigar box guitar. So what I'm encouraging you to do is always keep a cigar box guitar handy. If you see, I've got them everywhere. And I can always just grab and pick one up. So if I'm listening and I hear like a Michael Hedges song, Ready or Not, I can go pick up the guitar and try to play it there. You know, I hear Highway to Hell. It's just one of those things. So if you ever tell yourself, I bet I could play that on cigar box guitar, immediately go and do it before you forget. And then sit there and just move your fingers around. Try to tune your guitar to the same place or same key that they're going after and mess with it. You're right. I am not being technical whatsoever with this lesson. I'm not a technical person. This is not a technical instrument. This is not something that there has been volumes of music theory written about. The cigar box guitar is the poor man's instrument. This is the peasant instrument. This is the instrument for the rest of us. This is the reason we find so much new music. We are the people that never really got into regular guitar. But then whenever we picked up with something with only 3 strings, it made sense to us. So, my lesson to you is use your heart. Follow your gut. If you think you hear something, go try it on cigar box guitar and go make a dozen mistakes. And if you don't play it perfectly like the album, but you like the way it sounds, then stick with that. I'll see you guys later. Thank you for watching. Get my new album. CB Gitty has it. I've got it. Thank you. Tonight, if you're in Central PA, come to York, Pennsylvania, Liquid Hero Brewery. Friday night and Saturday night. We got 2 nights of album release parties there, so come check it out. My name is Shane Speal. Check me out at shanespeal.com. That's ShaneSpeal.com. And I will see you soon. Thanks for watching. Share this video right now. Bye.
You know, last week we had kind of a laid-back, extended jam. If you watched it, hope you enjoyed it. This is kind of that same idea, but somebody in the comments last week said, hey, how about for next week you add another chord? And I don't know if you noticed there, but there was another chord came into play there. Little C7, baby. Yeah. All right, well, welcome back. So, in this half of today's show, we're going to be talking a little bit about custom work. And I realized as soon as we cut to the Shane Speal video, I forgot something that I was supposed to say before we did. And that is, have you ever been in a job or a position, or are you in one now, where custom work comes into play regularly or even irregularly? You know, having to work with a customer, work with a client to create something custom from scratch. Glenn, I know, spending a number of years in the food service industry, both in the kitchen, behind the bar, waiting tables, the dreaded words, yeah, I'm going to go off menu, you know, always bring joy to service folks. Farley, as a finished carpenter and contractor, you were saying that it's just part of the job, working closely with the customer to create something that matches their vision. And of course, with guitar building, cigar box guitar building, I know a number of builders out there, you folks do build custom. If a customer says, I want 4 strings, left-handed, this box, this wood on the neck, this inlay, and I need it to spray smoke out of the sides when I hit a high G chord, you're going to do your best to do it. But there are some challenges with custom work as well. And what kind of prompted us, what's Jason saying? Who's got a difficult boss? Come on, Jason! Trying to talk serious up here about things that matter, and then we got that. Anyway, what has custom work foremost in my mind lately is a lot of research and development going on here at Gitty. For the first time, we have a listing on cbgitty.com where you can customize a guitar. Now, we're specifically focusing at this point on customizing what goes on the front of a guitar. Using some new printing methods we've come up with, we can transfer an image, oh, there it is on the screen, I can put that down. Transfer an image, a full color image or a black and white image, directly onto the box that gets made into a cigar box guitar. We've been doing the decal, Glenn, if you hold yours up, we've been doing the decals. Now we can do direct ink transfer, and also very exciting, we can print full color. This one is not full color. We can print directly on wooden veneer. This is thin, white poplar veneer that we can print in full color on. And you can then glue this onto your cigar box and make a cigar box guitar. But what we've opened up for the first time is you can upload the image you want to go on a guitar. It can be an old family photo, it can be a logo, it can be graphics, it can be original artwork, pretty much whatever you want. It can't be anything trademarked or copyrighted, so no sports team logos or anything like that. But for the first time ever, we let you customize your guitar, what goes on it. I'm very excited about that. So in the comments here, if you've done custom work, if you've been in a job where custom work is part of it, let us know. I've locked up. What about you? You're still going. Good.
Well, I'm interested. Rick Flink, you said that you've been doing, or you have done custom work. So, Rick, if you wouldn't mind, in this moment, just taking a moment to type in a response. What have you done for custom work?
Yeah.
And Rusty Taylor down in Georgia. Good to see you, Rusty. You mentioned that it is your bread and butter.
Butter.
And Chris McKinney as well from Fun Guy Mojo Guitars, saying that you get custom requests every day. And now, Rusty, with your bread and butter, do you consider that to be like your leg up, your way in with a certain clientele or a certain crowd because you're willing to, and able to do that custom work?
That's a good question.
That's what we're looking for here is fly rods. Gotcha, Rick. Fly rods. That's cool, man. You've done fly rods?
Custom fly rods.
That's awesome.
That is a art form
Yeah,
of its own, definitely.
absolutely.
I know I've never done fly rods, but I got briefly into lure making, fishing lure making, not the really fancy ones, but it is an art form.
Yeah.
All of that. I can see where custom crafting one would definitely be good. I know another area where custom work often or almost always comes into play is automotive, restoring old cars and customizing old cars. I know there are a number of people involved in Cigar Box Guitars in the movement that also are interested in like rat rods and it's rat rods. If you don't know, it's like you kind of you piece together a hot rod car from other cars, mashing parts together to make something new, and it's very similar to making musical instruments out of junk. So
You got Trevor Wells in here doing custom leather knife sheaths, which is
Oh,
super
wow.
cool.
Yeah.
Brent Briggs doing engraving shovel guitars.
nice, Brent.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
We got
Great
Chad.
guitars.
Of course, Chad. That's awesome. Used to do tattoo shop. How can that not be
Nice.
custom?
That's
Yeah.
custom.
Shane
Little
Speal,
bit
of
of
course. Custom work
tattooery.
almost every
Yeah.
week. Keith Craig. Keith Craig, I work for a silicone mask company, and a lot of our work is custom. Yeah, Harold actually doing tech support for biz clients. Custom config. Yeah, you were working with software development, did you?
Yeah. And support.
Ooh.
Yeah. Customizing
That's-
solutions for.
Oh,
I had forgotten about that. Oh.
good for you, Harold. That's it. It takes a strong man, dude. I totally forgot about Mark Rice doing chainsaw carvings. The gentleman who won the guitar 2 weeks ago with the whiskey
Medicine.
drinking donkey on the front.
Oh yeah. That.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And so yeah, Mark does
Donkey
chainsaw
and
carvings, which is
pants.
awesome. Bob, I don't want to weigh this down too much with everybody waiting on me to come up with this stuff, but Bob Rawson making a guitar in the shape of a toe pincher coffin for a local CBG builder. That's
Nice.
awesome.
Wow.
Yes.
I just want to tell Mark, that image of the mule in pants that you sent me inspired me. I'm not quite there yet, but the old song Mule Skinner Blues, I've been working on it. Good morning, Captain. Good morning, son. It involves a little bit of yodeling, so I'm not going to subject you to that
Oh,
this
come
week.
on.
I think I got to be in my Grandpa Gitty outfit
Yeah.
to pull that one off. But yeah, so custom work, Matthew Simpson, custom left-handed banjo and guitar for Kimberly Newsom, nice. So custom work. Now here's a question I have, because like I said, this is the first foray I've ever done with CB Gitty into opening the gates of customry. And the thing one of the things that's always worried me is project creep. Do you know that term, project creep? Like, we all agree that we're going to do this, and then there's like, well, can you add that? And can you add this?
Right.
And, well, I kind of wanted mahogany instead of
Oh, yeah.
maple, but it's already maple.
Right.
That kind of thing, dealing with that, and the idea, because of course when you do custom work, you want it to be fair for both sides. You want the customer, the client, to feel like they are getting good value and bringing the vision that they have to life. But as the craft person, you want to feel like you're being adequately rewarded for the time and effort and materials you're putting into it. So that's always now Harold says that his personal builds are all project creep, and that's how it should be. That's how it should be. Like, well, I'm going to try adding this, and like this guitar, was it this one? No, it was one of these. It was gonna be a ukulele. This one is a ukulele. This one was gonna be a uke, and a good 40% into it, I decided instead it's going to be a longer scale mandolin thing. Like, that project just creeped all over itself. But it plays. It worked out. So thank you for sharing your stories of custom work. And if you are a builder, a cigar box guitar builder, and you've been thinking, wow, should I let people, choose what they want and then I build? I feel your pain, not pain, but I feel that decision. It's not lightly made. It's 2:30. We've been at this a half hour. Can you believe that? Flew right by.
Fun.
Shane Speal's 8.5-minute lesson there helped. Not gonna lie. Oh, I was going to tell you what we're giving away this week. If you don't know, if you're tuning in for the first time, every week we do a giveaway. And we choose the winner or winners of the giveaway from amongst those of you who share this post, this video on Facebook. And not just share it, but share it publicly. When you click the share button, there's a little drop down next to it that lets you choose friends only or public. If you don't share it publicly, if you and I don't happen to be friends on Facebook, I can't see that you've shared it, and then you won't be in the drawing. So share this publicly. Last week we gave away 5 $50 gift certificates to cbgitty.com, and I saw one of our winners, Clay Clark. I saw his name flash by. If you're still watching, Clay, you're one of the winners. Woo! Clay Clark and Halfahan McCoy and Wayne Anderson, Fred Bombach, and Guillaume Daniel, French, from France, Lyon, France, all won the $50 gift certificate. I have sent you messages on Facebook, and if we're not friends, you might need to find them under message requests or something. Be sure to check that if you're one of those 5 people. This week, where did I put it? This week we're giving away something that is well in keeping with this whole custom idea. This is an example of it here. Hopefully you're able to see that. It says Ben's Cigar Box Guitar Shop.
Do you want me to bring it up closer?
Yeah, why not? Don't trip over anything. There's a lot of stuff out in front of us here. And Nick can also zoom. Oh, that's in front of the light. This isn't working. Shut it down!
No.
No. Nice try, though. A custom sign, Cigar Box Guitar Shop sign. I made this one yesterday. This was the first attempt at doing a transfer print onto what is like a mini craft palette-like thing. But we're going to be doing 3 of these for 3 of you who share this video publicly, and you can decide ideally what goes up here. Might be able to tweak some of the other stuff a little bit, but it's kind of going to be an experiment for me in how this whole custom stuff works. And also a chance for 3 of you to get a cool wall hanger for your shop, workshop, music room, whatever. Hopefully displaying your love of cigar box guitars and building and playing them. So 3 of those. I don't know what the dollar value is yet because I haven't figured that out, but virtually priceless. It's awesome. Yeah, good stuff. And remember, on cbgitty.com right now, you can order a guitar like this with your own image right here on the soundboard. A photograph, a family photograph, your kids, your motorcycle, something you really like. We've also got it so you can order these printed veneer, full color or black and white, $12.99, $12.99 for one. That includes the setup, the printing, everything. It's pretty cool. Glue this on the front of your cigar box. I made that price as low as I could, even though I knew that it might not cover the time that goes into setting up an image, but I want to get this idea out there that you can keep the look and feel of your cigar box. You know, a lot of cigar boxes, well, yours is wood anyway. That's a bad example. Don't have one in here, but a lot of cigar boxes have plywood backs. The rest might be all paper covered, but the back will be bare plywood. You could put this on the back of the guitar, make that the soundboard, keeping all of the other artwork on the front and sides of the cigar box. It's an awesome thing. I'm so excited about that. Rich Crew says it's a heck of a... You know what? You're right. Thanks, Rich.
Thank you, Rich.
So, yes, custom work. Opening the gates to make this available. Oh, something else. I haven't really shown this to many people. And I don't know how far you can zoom in effectively, Nick.
Find
This
out.
is just a little thing here, but as Nick zooms in, see if you can figure out
Whoa!
what we got
Whoa.
going on here. This is a headstock veneer. You can see the shape of the headstock with an image printed on it. So you could use this, you could cut it to shape, use this to trace the shape onto your headstock, get it to shape with saws and sanders, and then glue this on. And if you had the same image on the box, suddenly you got a matching headstock and box. Something that I'm sure it's been done, but I haven't seen it before. So really excited. Sound hole rosettes. I got so many things in the brain hole right now. It's starting to slosh out the side. I ain't gonna lie. So, yeah, custom work. All right, what do we got next? Audience
Yeah,
interaction?
I do want to say, I do want to say to Rusty, thank you, by the way, for reminding me, Rusty. Rusty's reminding me that
Zoom her back out a little bit there.
you got to.
My big old melon head taking up the screen.
Zoomer.
Rusty does a lot of work, custom work, has been noted, and that is his bread and butter. And some of the custom work that Rusty does is for international cigar box guitar players.
Nice.
And I think that's important to note. And I do not want to shift gears here in this show, but I think it's something that we could address at some other time, and that is just how large and far-reaching the cigar box guitar community is, and people like Rusty who do custom work for all these people, the world over. And he's shared a couple of videos with me with people that are playing his guitars, and one guy from Poland, one guy from France, if I remember correctly, and they're just it's really cool to see that this is not just a United States centric hobby, passion, pastime, art form, whatever. This is an all-inclusive thing, and it's really good, regardless of one's geographical location. That everyone is included in this, and it's a really neat thing to be a part of. And thank you, Rusty, for reminding me. I'm hoping that we can address that soon in another episode.
Yeah. Well, I saw a question go by from Bruce Watley out there saying he has a concert photo. What is the best way to glue that onto a guitar? And I got to tell you, Bruce, this concept of getting images onto boxes, onto guitars, is something I've been working on for years.
That's
Literally
true.
years. Tried a lot of different ways, and it's the fact that it is very difficult to do what you're suggesting, to get it on there in a permanent way where it won't peel off over time. It's hard. I mean, you might try, like with your concert photo, you might try some contact cement, put some on the back of the photo, put some on the box, put it on, apply pressure, kind of like you're applying a veneer, honestly. And then once it's on there, clear coat the crap out of it with like lacquer or something to seal down those edges, to try to keep it from starting to peel up. Because that's the biggest danger I've run into with it. And also, if you're gluing a photograph onto a box, that's on paper. It might be heavy paper, but it's a form of paper, and it will wear down a lot faster through picking or scratching or whatever than wood will. It's one of the reasons I'm so excited about this style, this infused ink printing method that we're now able to do, because this ink is in the wood. There's no peeling this off. It's actually very difficult, especially because these are thin tops. You can't even sand it off without sanding through the soundboard. It's in there. It's indelible. The ink and then a little bit of lacquer to seal it in, and that's permanent. And we can do, I don't know if I have one up here. I brought some examples. It gives a very weathered sort of look. Like, here's a color photo of a lighthouse scene, of a picture I took up on Campobello Island, just up in Canada on the northern tip of Maine. Color photo, we can do black and white photos. So that concert photo, using this ink transfer method, might look really good on a box or on a veneer. Or you could scan it in, we could print it on the veneer, and the good thing about the veneer, that's wood. And if you use a wood glue and really get that clamped down onto a box top or whatever, it's not going anywhere. That's permanently affixed, which, as I say, has been one of the biggest challenges of most of the other methods I've tried over the years, is making sure that it doesn't peel off and come off in time. So thank you for asking that question. Charles Dustin.
Good to see you, Charles.
CDA,
Good
Charles
to see
Dustin Aron.
I do want to just quickly address, if you're wondering, if anybody's wondering how these boxes sound, the one that Ben's playing right here, even though this has got nylon strings, we have got several examples. These boxes sound awesome.
They really do.
Before
really
they've been
do.
treated, after they've been treated. This is my next guitar, not this one specifically. This is my next guitar. I love the way these sound. I love, like, we often do 23-inch scale length now, and that's and this is 23. It's so that you can get your fingers into these chord shapes. These guitars.
This is a 19.
19.
It's even
I like
some of
that.
these
That's what
chord
I'm gonna
forms. Like this is, you know, if you fret at the 2nd fret, you got an A chord, an A power chord. Coming up to the 6th fret with my pinky. Hear the difference there? That makes it an A major chord. You can't do that. At least I can't with my little hands on a 25-inch scale. You can't really make that stretch. It's even tricky on a 23. You really got to work at it. But on a 19, you can hit it, you know. So shorter scale, Harold's saying a 12-inch scale length. That's pretty darn short.
All right.
That's short.
I use it.
Soprano uke, like our little Gitty over there, is a 13-inch scale, and that gets pretty wee, especially if you're trying to get up a little higher up the fretboard. But yeah, these boxes,
They sound really good.
just sound.
They really do.
They and with the nylon, this is my go-to picking guitar. We don't actually sell this right now, the 19-inch scale. But I was thinking this morning, like I got some. I got the necks on my bench.
Yeah.
Because this was an early prototype when we were figuring out the bolt-on neck method.
It's fun
But I'm
for
not giving this.
traveling
I'm giving away most of the prototypes from that round. I'm not giving this one away.
Yeah.
I just like it too much. I've also got something on the back here. I know you can't see it. This is another thing I'm working on from the Gitty Publishing Department. Using a removable label, basically, but a durable, weatherproof polyester film that never wears out. Chord charts that'll fit right on the back of your cigar box guitar. So if you're playing like, oh shoot, what's the C? Ah, there it is. Ding, 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 ding. So that's something else we're working on here. At CB Gitty, Cigar Box Nation, you know, we're not just importing parts from China and selling them cheap. We do that, but we're trying to come up with new stuff. New parts, new tools, new how-to information, free stuff we give away, plans and kits, really trying to spread the word, spread this movement all around the world. The idea that anyone, anywhere can build their own musical instruments and make music on them. That's the core of this. It isn't just shoveling parts out the door as fast as we can. It's the development, it's the research side of it that I really enjoy. I tell you what, I hadn't been able to get out to my workbench out in the shop for a good while. I've now established a little realm back there in the publishing department. I've been getting some creative juices flowing back there, and I tell you what, it feels good. And I hope that you all like it as much as I do. I'm excited, but I'm always excited about all sorts of wacky things. Yeah. Constant excitement, zooming around here. All right, well, anything else to add on any of that? All right, we got one more thing for you. One more cool thing. Chord chart cheat sheet. Oh, that's Shane. Shane gets excited a lot, too. If you haven't noticed, he's... So, customizing. We've been talking about customizing builds, customizing looks. Now, what about customizing your sound? You're spending time, you're working hard to learn GDG, open G tuning, how to play chords on it, how to play ditties and songs. How about customizing the sound you get from what you already know? Farley's holding a 3-string cigar box guitar here, tuned to low G. And do your little Farley shuffle there. Yeah. So that's got a sound to it. That sounds like a bluesy cigar box guitar. Now, what if Farley said, or she's at a jam session, and somebody says, boy, I need a banjo in this. Anybody play the banjo? Farley's never played the banjo. She's never taken a lesson on the banjo. But it just so happens that if she has a 3-string open G banjo that she built, actually you did build that, she can play the exact same stuff she was just playing on this, but it's going to sound like a banjo. Come on, dig into it a little bit there. Yeah. There you go. same playing, 3 strings, open G, banjo sound. Now, wait, what if we don't need a banjo? What if we need a mandolin? Turns out, Farley has herself a 3-string open G mandolin scale thing here. It's actually a little long scale for a mandolin, but it's got that sound. So here's the same thing. And this one, if you dig into it, it really barks. Yeah, there it is. Woo! Now, Farley, do you play the ukulele?
Negative.
Have you ever taken a lesson on the ukulele?
I have not. No.
Would you like to play the ukulele?
Sure.
Turns out she already knows how to play the ukulele because we happen to have one right nearby. Open G,
Oh, boy.
3-string ukulele scale, ukulele strings, tuned to GDG. Here we go. Yeah, buddy. So you learn something once. You learn how to play it on that 3-string open G, and then you build yourself 4 different instruments: a banjo, a guitar, a ukulele, and a mandolin, and suddenly you're multi-instrumental.
That's cool. That's really cool.
And people think, man, you can play
Wow,
4
I
different
can play-
things? Absolutely, but actually you're playing one thing on 4 slightly different things. So there you go, customizing your sound by having different instruments strung differently, different scale lengths.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
buddy. So
That's
here,
awesome.
I'll take that, you
All
take
right.
this.
Sure.
All right. How about, hand me that banjo. I'm going to play that for our out song here. Now,
Okay.
Charles Dustin has been asking about any Halloween lessons or fall song lessons. I gotta be honest, I ain't got any on my docket. We should. Shane might have something. Come on, Shane Speal. What you got? Oh, look at that. He's going to be showing some of the murder. Oh, yeah. About a year ago, we did that 13 Dead Men round robin show out here on the big stage. We're going to be rerunning that at least once during this Halloween season, this fall. All right. Anything else? Anybody else saying it? Thank you so much again for tuning in, for your comments, telling your stories of the custom work you've done, sharing your thoughts. Henry Lohman saying we need a cigar box shamisen. You're right. And we put it to you, Henry Lohman, to build it and send us a video of it for next week's show. Oh, and speaking of that, we do like video submissions from y'all. If you do something cool or got something to share, make a little video of it, send it to us, and we just might feature it on the show. The easiest way actually to submit something is through the CB Gitty customer gallery submission system we have. If you go over there onto cbgitty.com, and I know most of you have been there before, and we appreciate it, there's that customer gallery link up top, and there's a button in there to submit, and you can submit videos, submit photos. We've been featuring them on the Gitty page quite a bit. Glenn's been finding some nice stuff on there to share with the community. And the stuff that we really like, we might trot out here on the Gitty Gang Show one of these weeks. So we've been at it almost 50 minutes. We got to wrap this thing up. Thank you all again for tuning in. We're going to
Thank
play
you.
out on the Gitty Gang theme song here. Play along. It's G, C, G, D, G. Those chords in that order is all we're doing, with a little bit extra stuff thrown in there on occasion. Anyway. But it's the Gitty Gang Show on Starbox Nation TV. Oh, that's speedy. It's the Gitty Gang Show on Starbox Nation TV. And we came to you live from CB Gitty. What panda? Well, it's the Gitty Gang Show.
It's the Gitty Gang Show.
It's the Gitty Gang Show.
the Gitty Gang Show.
It's Gitty Gang Show.
It's the Gitty Gang Show.
It's Gitty Gang Show.
Gitty Gang Show.
It's been the Gitty Gang Show on Starbox Nation TV. Until next watching. This has been show number 13. Can you believe that?
13. Lucky
13.
13.
Well, we've done 12. Shane did one that one week
Alright.
in his basement. But yeah, it's been going on for like 3 months now.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.